So, welcome back to Access Evolved. This week, we're going to talk about something that is near and dear to our hearts, and that is user experience. So, we believe that great security doesn't mean friction, it means flexibility. We want teams to be able to work in whatever way feels natural without compromising security. So, today, Andree and I are going to show you how easy it is to access your tools, your resources with Border Zero, whether you're using our web client, tray menu, desktop app, or CLI. You pick your tool, and Border Zero makes it one click away. Before we jump into the demos, just want to underline this point. The big idea is that Border Zero lets you connect securely and consistently in your own workflow. Some people love the GUI, others live in the terminal, but either way, we believe that access should be simple, auditable, and identity aware. So, Andree, let's start with one of my favorites, the web client.
Yeah, so I think the web client is definitely the easiest way to get started. It's basically a fully clientless experience. All you need is a browser, and you immediately see what you have access to. So let me just share my screen here. So first thing, I will need to log in with my single sign-on identity, Google, GitHub, or whatever your corporate identity provider is. And after that, I can instantly see all of the servers, databases, desktop servers, or even Kubernetes clusters that I have access to. So let me click maybe on this Kubernetes cluster. And what's happening here is actually really cool. So what happens is Border Zero spins up a VPN inside this tab using WebAssembly. So there's actually WireGuard from this tab to the connector. And if I would spin up multiple tabs, then each tab would get its own IP address and VPN adapter. It's really quite cool. But in the end, to the user, you have a fully clientless experience, just your browser. And even if the cluster is in a private network behind NAT and IAM, it still works. All right, so from here, I can explore my pods, check the logs, scale up and down deployments, all directly from my browser. Now, I can do the same for SSH or databases as well. So this is what an SSH session would look like. So you can see it's really, really quite neat. And the same for databases. If I click on this database, here on the left, I can see all the tables. On the right here, I have my editor. I can execute queries, etc. And as you can see here at the bottom right, there's a little chat window that I can pull up. And we have the same in our Kubernetes client as well. And I can ask it questions like, I don't know, what are the biggest tables or something like that. And this really allows you to talk to your cluster. And so, sometimes we're working on complicated SQL queries. You can just chat with your cluster and have it generate that.
Awesome. It's really magical, I think. And it's definitely what we mean when we say that secure access shouldn't slow you down. But what about people who prefer working locally from the desktop?
Yeah, of course, that's important too. So we have that. So let me share my screen again. So I'm working on Mac OS, but we have the same for Windows and Linux as well. Yes, Windows and Linux is a first-class citizen. So here we have this little tray menu. So you can see the Border Zero app. It's running, and you can see all my resources here as well. So this shows me what I have access to, very similar as in the web, but a little bit more compact. So let's, for example, click on an S8 server here. So when I click on it, the client automatically finds all of the ways for me to connect to this SSH server, the different clients. It remembers my preferences and launches an SSH connection to this server. So I prefer iTerm 2. When I click on that, yeah, we're automatically in, and now I'm just in using my Border Zero SSO identity. So super fast for anyone who likes sort of this native app experiences and quick launch capabilities just from your tray menu.
Awesome. And we should point out that you're only seeing the resources that you're authorized for. It's all policy based and tied to your identity. But what happens if you're a user that's authorized for hundreds or even thousands of resources? How do they find what they need quickly?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think that's where our full desktop client shines. So let me pull that up. And just so you know, yeah, we have a few customers that literally have thousands of servers that they're making available through Border Zero. And for them, this more visual experience is definitely preferred, right? So as you can see, it looks very similar as the web client. It's much more visual. We can add favorites. We have filters. We can search by name. We have recently used items, and it lets you organize resources by region or environment. So in this example, let's go and collect to a database maybe. So I'll click on that, and as you can see, it again detects all of the database clients on my system and asks me which one do I prefer. Since we're doing a more visual one, I'll use a GUI here, and we launch the client, and up now I'm in the database. So it's very intuitive, whether you're connecting to one server or a few thousand. This visual experience makes it a lot easier to use and find what you need access to.
Yeah, as a type B person, I really appreciate how nice and organized that is. Makes it really easy. But okay, let's talk about the power users, the people who absolutely love the CLI. What are we doing for them?
Yeah, yeah, they're real geeks. So they like living in the CLI, pretty opinionated about their tools. So obviously, Border Zero has a CLI tool as well, and it has all kinds of auto completion magic in here. But let's start. Let me pull up my CLI. So, for example, the one thing you can do is I can type in SSH and then maybe the server name, and as you can see, it has tab completion. So I can just use regular SSH to connect straight up to the server. Like I don't need to start from any of the Border Zero apps, right? So we just help there in the background, sort of invisibly. Or I can use the CLI, so I can type in maybe Border Zero client DB, which shows me a list of all the databases I have access to. So I'll select this one. It says, oh, these are all the clients that you can launch. Again, it finds what I have installed. Since we're using the CLI, I will select the MySQL CLI, and now I'm in. Right, and I can execute the queries using the CLI and never have to leave my terminal. So I'd say, whether you prefer the CLI, the desktop app, the tray menu, or, fully clientless web experience, the end result is all the same. One click and you're logged in, fully secure, end-to-end encrypted. And because we tie everything back to your identity and we have rich policy rules, we can define very granularly who should have access to what, and you can eliminate those static credentials. Just log in with your SSO and you're good to go, and you access what you have access to.
Yeah, awesome. Well, and that's it. That's the through line, right? So access isn't one size fits all. We believe it really should fit your workflow. Most security tools are designed to keep people out, and Border Zero does that too. But once you do have access, we'll show you exactly what you can reach, help make it nice visual organization potentially, and help you, connect instantly to the tools you already love. So if you're headed to KubeCon or reInvent this fall, we hope you'll stop by, check out a demo live, and chat with us about making secure access effortless for your team.